I will be comparing how science fiction films communicate the fears and anxieties of the future given the political context of the time period of release with Christopher Nolan's 2014 Interstellar and Stanley Kubrick's 1968-2001 A Space Odyssey. Science fiction films communicate the fears and anxieties of the future by setting different timelines or worlds that can be similar to our modern world. These timelines or plots contain elements such as aliens using mind control, monstrous mutants unleashed by radioactive fallout, radiation's terrible effects on human life, and scientists obsessed with dangerous experiments.
Crazy am I?
To sway the audience into those fears that can connect to real-life events. In the 1956 film Invasion of the Body Snatchers, people have been replaced with body duplicates grown from alien space pods. These clones look exactly like those they replaced but aren't human beings. This showed the fears of the Cold War and communist invasion. This also correlates to more recent events. In the 2015 film Avengers Age of Ultron, they showed the fears and anxieties from society about AI and technology taking over and controlling the world.
I had strings, but now I'm free.
These two films are appropriate for this comparative study because they are very similar on paper and off. Even just looking at the basics of the two films, we can see that their character plots and messages are almost identical, with both of these films also having significant differences. Interstellar and 2001 A Space Odyssey both have connections back to the political world at the time of release and have messages that are still relevant today. The political context in each of the films shows society in a possible future. In Interstellar, the audience is shown a possible near future where the weather has taken over control of the world environment, forcing people to become farmers since food is so scarce and the dust storms are so impactful. Society is at a point of just trying to survive and not advance. At the time of release, 2014, there were strikes and ideas of climate change. One of the largest climate strikes took place in New York City. This connected the viewers back to the real world. However, 2001 A Space Odyssey was full of future predictions. Kubrick made accurate predictions about space stations with zero-gravity toilets, flat screens, video chats, tablets, and artificial intelligence. How? Also, even though the film was released in 1968, it took over 5 years to make. So, in 1963, when the film had just begun production, the world was forever changed with the introduction using artificial organs during a surgery. Dr. Michael DeBacchi used an artificial heart for use during heart surgery, causing fears for the public about having artificial organs in body parts. This connects back to the fears of artificial intelligence from How. Science fiction is an incredible genre. It has many types of branches, but altogether creates an incredible array of films. Science fiction didn't really take off until the talks of the atomic bomb scared the viewers in the 1940s. Hundreds of films were created from the 1940s to the 1960s about nuclear weapons and communist invasion on America. Erica Rabbing says, both warns against and applauds the advance of science and technology, while it constantly considers the problems and possibilities posed by meeting the new and unexpected. These films most of the time had endings with scientists or military solving the problem, so the viewers were reassured that the threats cannot be overthrown and that there's offered hope and redemption. For example, we see in Nolan's Interstellar and Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey that they both have the space noise and the absence of noise while in space. However, in Interstellar, they are inside the spacecraft, and in 2001, David is outside the spacecraft. This shows that Interstellar characters are isolated from each other, and they all have their own motives, while they're all on the same journey. However, in 2001 A Space Odyssey, the complete lack of sound while outside the spaceship is scientific, due to space being silent, but it adds a note of creepiness and allows the audience to be in David's position, alone with nothing but AI.
Dave, stop.
In these scenes, we see the increase of rapid and panicky music while an unknown object enters the shot. This sound allows the audience to have similar exciting and heightened emotions as the characters and really puts them into the film. However, in Interstellar's, it's more of an exciting rapid noise where they chase the past, which was the spacecraft that Cooper used to work with. But in 2001, it's a creepy, eerie, almost sound of humans screaming while they encounter the monolith, proving that this object will later turn on them. Here, we see them both confronting an enemy, and it is just the main character alone with the antagonist. In Interstellar, we have non-diegetic sound as a heartbeat-like rhythm, while Cooper is confronting Man about him lying. Man tries to kill Cooper, and with this heartbeat-like score, it opens a portal for the viewers into Cooper's position and causes worry for his and their safety. Showing that in the real world, when a threat is at hand, like climate change, the physical reaction of increased heart rate tells your body that something is wrong. In 2001, there's only diegetic sound between the conversation of Hal and Dave, forcing the audience to feel like intruders and be awkward in a situation listening to them speak. Because Hal has shown Dave that he's in total control and the audience is completely useless. They become bystanders, just like society when the advancement of AI and technology is slowly taking over our world.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is.
The sound of these scenes evoke emotions from the audience that creates fear of what the future can hold if humans continue the path that they are on. In cinematic expression, color is a visual language that speaks volumes to become a powerful narrative tool. Cinematography, the art of capturing moving images on film or digital media, takes a new level when color is skillfully harnessed to evoke emotions, convey themes, and immerse audiences in the filmmaker's vision. From the vibrant hues that saturate a scene to the muted tones that cast a somber atmosphere, color in cinematography is a dynamic force that goes beyond mere decoration, becoming an integral part of storytelling. Color has allowed cinematographers to create visual emotions that amplify the impacts of narratives, underscore character arcs, and shape the overall cinematic experience. In Interstellar in 2001, A Space Odyssey, we both see these amazing zoom-in shots onto the most important parts in the scene. For Interstellar, it is Cooper seeing Murph on a video chat after a while apart, and in 2001, it's Hal figuring out that the humans are against him. Cooper and Dave are finding out vital information about life outside the spacecraft in these scenes. However, Interstellar is a bittersweet moment expressed by the slow zoom onto Cooper's tears and facial expressions, knowing that his family is left alone to die from the environment while he is stuck in space. But in 2001, we see the zoom in of Frank and Dave while they're having a story-altering discussion about how Hal is dangerous, and a jump cut back to Hal and his iconic red glow to show his total control that gives the AI an emotion of anger, which terrifies the audience that these pieces of technology suddenly feel emotions like they do. Both of these scenes use camera angles to put the audience into the storyline. With close-up shots and POV shots, the viewers are right there feeling the emotions and consequences of the characters in the film. However, in Interstellar, Brent is reaching out to the audience, almost breaking the fourth wall, looking right at us. With her hand outstretched, she's almost pulling us into the movie with her, unlike how she left everyone on Earth to die without a solution. In 2001: A Space Odyssey, we get a close-up shot of Hal and his fisheye lens with his red glow to be in his perspective. This POV shot finally gives the audience Hal's perspective and allows them to interpret the situation on their own. However, this camera angle gives the feeling of a stalker and intrusion on personal space because it's similar to people, just like how Hal has intruded on Dave's life. These two shots show the power struggle between the two characters in the movies. The more powerful character overtakes the shot, Cooper with his low-angle shot and Hal with his red light that consumes the entire screen. In Interstellar, we see the use of high and low-angle shots to show the emotions and who is trying to take control and power of one another. Cooper is yelling at Brant for wasting valuable time, decades, while Brant is powerless because she completely failed the mission. Similar to how important climate action was and is, since we are so far gone, the only way to make a change is by using your power. In 2001, the use of color showed the total control of the spaceship from Hal, as the door slides open and the red light pours out and fills the shot with Hal. Then Dave is consumed by the red light to show Hal's control over him. This terrifies the audience because red is a warning and danger color symbol. With Dave being completely consumed by it, he becomes hopeless, putting the point into mind that technology and AI will consume humanity. The audience is put into the film and experiences the journey just as the main characters, Cooper and Dave, are. Cinematography regarding color also allows them to make their own conclusions and inferences about the many themes and messages that are portrayed. Within the realm of cinematic elements, film editing stands as the puppeteer that guided a scramble of clips and shots into a seamless, coherent narrative journey. The process transforms raw footage into a compelling visual story, where the speed of cuts, the pace of sequences, and the juxtaposition of images holds the power to captivate and release emotion from the audience. This area of work involves careful selection and arrangement of shots, the manipulation of time and space, and the orchestration of sound and image. The collaboration of editors, directors, and storytellers gives birth to the final product that entrances the audience. With these two scenes, we see the spacecraft in space and the beginning of a progression of time that will ultimately change space as the characters know it. The audience gets to see the outside of the spacecraft while looking down on Earth. In Interstellar, these two shots clipped together show how amazing the journey is, since space travel has been put to a halt, while they are all looking at Earth through the window, and then it cuts to a longer shot of the spacecraft spinning and floating in space to show their isolation. In 2001: A Space Odyssey, we're introduced to the dawn of man and see a repeating cycle of apes evolutionizing. It is then a match cut from the bone to the spacecraft to explain and outline for the viewers how far technology has come. These two scenes have quick cuts to show heightened anxiety and emotions to the audience. The rapid movement creates a sense of urgency and the audience becomes fully engaged. It also can be confusing because everything is happening so fast and there's not enough time to understand the story. In Interstellar, there are quick cuts and cross-cuts between Murph and Cooper's storylines. Cooper is dying and trying to survive, while back on Earth, Murph is fighting against the social norms to initiate a change of action, mainly from her brother and community. These two sequences being cut together show that while one thing or person is dying, the healthy few need to do what they can to make a difference and start a change. In 2001, we got a quick cut zoom onto Hal, and then bam, Frank is thrown from the ship from Hal's doing. It's a countdown to Hal's total takeover and creeps the audience out because they are thrown into Hal's red fisheye. Humanity is given no option once technology and AI has control. In the realm of science fiction, films such as Christopher Nolan's Interstellar and Stanley Kubrick's 2001: A Space Odyssey stand as essential reflections of the fears and anxieties embedded into their respective political contexts. Kubrick's masterpiece, emerging during the Cold War, mirrors the apprehensions of a world divided by ideologies, tensions, and the unknown consequences of rapid technological process. In contrast, Nolan's Interstellar navigates the environment and geopolitical concerns of the 21st century, projecting a future where humanity grapples with the consequences of its actions on Earth. These films, separated by decades, demonstrate the enduring capacity of science fiction to articulate and respond to the prevailing fears of their times, using the vast canvas of space to mirror social anxieties and provoke contemplation about the trajectory of our collective future.